Hey everyone, it's Alan Shimel, DevOpsdotcom, DevOpsTV. We're here at DevOps World, Jenkins World in Nice, France, right on the show floor in our broadcast booth. And I'm joined by Marko, you say your last name.
Anastasov.
Anastasov. And Marko and I have actually met before. We did a podcast recently. It's up on SoundCloud and on DevOps.com. But he is from Semaphore. And Semaphore has recently announced a major update, Semaphore 2.0. And we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, nice to see
So
you.
Marko, welcome. So first of all, there might be people out here who don't know Semaphore. I know the story. We've done our podcast. You're a developer yourself. You and your partners can really develop Semaphore based upon your own use cases and needs.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah. So initially, building Semaphore came out of scratching our own itch kind of scenario. So as kind of our software development process grew, we of course, as we adopted test-driven development, behavior-driven development, all the kind of best practices that lead or should lead to good code, we of course wanted to implement continuous integration in our company. And at that point, which was about 7 years ago, installing and maintaining Jenkins was pretty much the only option. And we kind of ourselves didn't like that because spending a couple of days just to kind of get started with a simple pipeline wasn't exactly aligned with our expectations, because we're already kind of used to the user experience of GitHub or some platforms as a service for running your applications. And we kind of ran along with the Jenkins for a while, but we said, okay, can we build something that provides the same kind of user experience, that gives you something up and running in literally a few minutes, but for continuous integration? That's kind of how Semaphore was born, originally launched in 2012.
Sure. Okay, so now fast forward to today, 2.0.
Yeah.
Major update.
Yeah.
Give us some of the highlights.
Sure. So Semaphore 2.0, comparing to the previous version of Semaphore, which had relatively simplistic kind of build and deploy phases that were prescribed, Semaphore 2.0 allows you to automate really any build, test, and deploy workflow. The big change is also that all configuration is stored in code, which a lot of developers are now used to or getting used to, which is of course aligned with the infrastructure as code idea. That's core, one of the core principles actually in the DevOps. And so, of course, all the execution happens in an environment which you absolutely don't need to manage. So it's designed for teams that kind of want to optimize for developer productivity. And what makes our platform unique is also that it's based on bare metal hardware.
Yeah.
So the performance was really good that you get out of the box, especially if you want to parallelize some of the heavy computational stuff like tests. And it's really it's built upon the previous version of the product, which has already saved really many developer hours for many companies, including the likes of Uber and Toyota, but also startups like Dribble and
No, it works across that whole gamut. Yeah. And I would just, shameless plug, I would point you, if you want to know more about Semaphore 2.0, to DevOpsdotcom and to SoundCloud in our previous podcast, where we got into a little bit more of the details and some of the stuff that we have coming up on DevOps.com with that. Let's talk Jenkins World a little bit.
Sure.
Is this the first Jenkins World you guys are at, or?
For me personally, yes. My colleague, the co-founder of Darko, has been to one a couple years back, but yeah, it's the first time for me. And
your impressions?
Well, I really enjoy the event. I think it's really valuable to have. Personally, I'm not aware of other events that are kind of focusing on continuous delivery, and I think it's a great opportunity to kind of come and learn how others do it, learn some of the practices that our teams have developed, because the challenge is always the technology stacks are always evolving and changing. Recently, of course, we've had the major shift with containers and Kubernetes, and all the tool chains are basically being reinvented to some degree. And yeah, many
it's a great time to be a developer.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. It's challenging, but I think that it's easier than ever really to get really to production, to get stuff out, and the tools are really kind of equipping developers to be really productive these days. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marko, I know the URL for the Semaphore. Was it Semaphore CI?
Semaphoreci.com. Yeah,
.com.
it's also Semaphore CI on Twitter.
Just want to make sure people know that if they want to go check it out.
out.
So Semaphore 2.0, do give it a check out. Marko, thanks for being our guest today on
Thanks,
DevOps
Alan.
TV, man.
Pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. This is Alan Shimel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, here at DevOps World, Jenkins World, Nice. Have a great day.